And this is one way to look at the formula. Another way to look at the formula is if we pull out one of these a's. So let me just rewrite it and then we'll make sense of it. So we have n over 2, we have a plus d times n minus 1. And the reason we want to pull one of those a's out is that now we can group the terms differently. Since this right here, a, this is our first term, and then this expression here, this a plus d times n minus 1, that's the last term. So, like I said, this one right here, this is our first term. And this one right here, this is our last term. So basically, we're taking the first term, adding it to the last term, multiplying by the number of terms, and dividing by 2. And another way you might see this sequence or this series written is where the first term we call a sub 1, then we have a sub 2 plus a sub 3, and so on, all the way up to a sub n. So that's another way to write our sum, where the nth term just comes from the explicit formula, where you have that first term, a sub 1, plus the common difference, n minus 1 times. So writing it this way allows us to rewrite our formula here in a different sense. We can say that our sum is just n over 2 multiplied by the first term plus the last term. And this is probably the simplest way to rewrite the formula, but you can also rewrite it like this, especially if you know the first term and you know the common difference and you know how many terms there are. So in both cases, they are useful, they just are applied in different scenarios. But the nice benefit of rewriting it like this, you can say that this is n multiplied by the first term plus the last term divided by 2. And when you add two numbers and divide it by 2, you're taking the average. So a way to interpret this formula is that you're taking the average of the first and the last term and then just multiplying it by the number of terms. So to see how this formula works, let's just apply it to the example we used above, where we said a is 2, our common difference is 3, and we have 5 total terms. So this would just be 2 plus 5 plus 8 plus 11 plus 14. So 5 terms, and notice the common difference, the number we add to go from one to the next, is just 3. Now if we add this up by hand, notice this is 7, plus 8 gives us 15, plus 11 gives us 26. We add 4 more, we get to 30, plus 10, we get to 40. So this should add up to 40, but let's see if it works. We have 5 terms, and the first term plus the last term, so that's 2 plus 14, and we divide that in half. And so you get 5 plus 16 over 2, which is 8, and 5 times 8 is 40. So our formula matches up with what we get by just adding these up.